Hello and welcome back, Squirrel Nation. I hope you're all having an outstanding day. So I hope you're all enjoying the new format, how I'm doing a big series like how to win DS lane in this case, or how to roam mid, or how to roam support, and breaking them into parts. So please let me know your thoughts on that. I've done 3 now, and I would love to know how you all feel about that type of content. With that said, let's kind of dive into what we're going to talk about today. The 4 things that we're going to talk about today are 1, what to do before the dragon is taken, so that like 130 mark. Then we're going to talk about what to do after dragon is taken in that depending when dragon's taken, right? So maybe like 2 to 3 minute range. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is just always try Spirit Sentinel and build that habit. And the last subject for the video will be one of my pet peeves, which is there is no my lane, there is only team lane. So anyways, with that said, let's dive in. Okay, so this clip and the following 2 clips are all about pre-dragon, so let's discuss what's happening real quick before we go through the video. If you notice, my jungler Lindis is doing her blue buff, which is opposite of the dragon side of the map right now. The dragon's coming up in 12 seconds. So because I saw Lindis coming to this side, what happened is my objective is to create a ton of pressure DS lane so that it draws extra enemies. And if the extra enemies don't come, then I can simply take tower and I can steal a lot of the enemy's red side jungle, and I can also secure the Spirit Sentinel. Okay, because my whole goal is to get equivalent value of the dragon. So my assumption when my jungler does not try to take dragon is that the enemy team is going to get it, so I want to catch up in gold. So anyways, let's watch this video and see how that plays out. So if you notice, my Alistar has been roaming really well. He's helping me a lot, so I am very confident in cutting this wave. My goal is then to get the small camp, and then after that to get the Spirit Sentinel, and maybe even more the tower depending what the enemies do. So same thing, I'm watching the enemies, our jungler's now clearing mid, you see all the enemies rotating, right? So this is actually the best case, because now I've stole the jungle, I've cut the wave, I'm starting to get Sentinel, and actually the Raz that you just saw on the minimap is the enemy jungler. So I start the Sentinel, I'm creating pressure, right? And my pressure has drawn the enemy. So the enemies are going to come over, I get a good ult on Raz who gets too greedy, and now he is chunked down. And if you notice right now, if you look at the map, my team is all, I pulled 4 people to the Darkslayer lane when dragon just spawned. Okay, so it is currently 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and 4 people were DS side coming to deal with the pressure that I created. And if you notice now, my bot and the jungler are all dragon with the Vision Seagull about to run through the enemy's blue side. So what happens is my team ends up getting a basically free dragon. So even though our jungler started opposite side when the dragon spawned, it still ended up working good. So in this clip, what happens different is that if you notice, my Rourke, my jungler, is fighting with the Lindis and the enemy jungler over dragon, and my team is going to collapse onto dragon. So what you're going to see is I'm going to push wave, I'm going to grab Sentinel because I know all the enemies are top. So you see 3 at the dragon pit and Alistar is mid, and now I just pushed my lane, so my laner has to clear that, so I'm going to have plenty of time to clear Sentinel. The most important part about what happens in this clip is what happens next. I do not go back to my lane, I first go and clear mid. Why do you do that? I go mid so that my Raz can stay in that fight, and I want to put pressure on the Alistar to get back to lane, right? So both mids are currently fighting over dragon, and I want to make the Alistar kind of feel that doubt, feel that panic that, oh my god, I need to get back or I'm losing wave. And I want my Raz to not feel that so that he can hang around. And anyways, I don't know if it did for sure work, but my team ended up getting the dragon. They were able to get the steal on it, and my Raz gets back for the next wave, and Alistar did miss, I believe, 2 out of the 3 minions mid lane. So anyways, that is another great option when your team is fighting for dragon. Roam mid, clear the wave, so that your mid laner has extra time to stay in that fight. Okay, so both of those last games were okay games. This game is, we are going worst case. Currently, look at my team's health. They're almost all dead. My mid laner is already dead, and a fight is breaking out around dragon. So let's see how I handle this in the thought process. Okay, so now 2 of my teammates are dead. A third teammate is dead, okay? This Quillin just got a triple kill, is super fed, and dragon's right there, their whole team's there, okay? their team is getting dragon. That's flat out going to get it. So I'm going to get vision. The reason this is great is it's going to check on red buff, and it's going to help me decide what value there is to get on the map, okay? So I'm watching all these different things, okay? I'm going to clear wave. Red buff is gone, so that there's no option of it, right? And you'll see why this matters. Okay, so Omen goes. Omen actually clears ahead of me too because our team's just struggling. So what I'm going to do is check our blue buff, because what could Omen do that would really hurt my team would sneak in and steal red buff. So I check that, he's not there, then I come to Spirit Sentinel, which is the next place he would be. Thankfully, I catch Omen, I steal the Sentinel, and I end up getting a kill on Omen. So this, the thing I want everybody to keep in mind as a DS laner is be realistic about what is happening with your team. If you're not going to get certain objectives and you're going to kind of give gold over to the enemy team, try to minimize the amount of gold that you give them and try to maximize the amount of gold that you collect, right? So out of that, we make Omen miss wave, we get the Sentinel, we get a kill. So does it make up for the 3 kills bottom and the free dragon for the enemy team? No, but it definitely kind of stopped the bleeding. Okay, so this is a post-dragon clip. The enemy team has already taken the dragon, and let's look at what happens. So in this clip, the first thing that's going to happen is I am going to try to do Spirit Sentinel, and that is something I want to encourage you guys to do. Always try to do Spirit Sentinel. The reason is it creates pressure on the map. The enemies either have to come and contest you, or they're going to give over a significant amount of gold. So if you notice, Nakaroth wanted to roam mid, but now he has to chase me off of Spirit Sentinel. So the other thing about Spirit Sentinel is don't feel bad to run away from it, right? So I take no shame in starting and stopping Spirit Sentinels. You'll see me do it all the time as a DS laner. They're bad micro, just ignore that, please. But anyways, so I see that my blue side jungle's coming up. Scud got the clear on me, so I'm thinking, what is the possibility he gonna do? And invade blue is a big thing. So I come to check blue, but something in my gut just tells me things feel wrong. I don't see people on the map. And Scud just had that feel to him that he wanted to invade my jungle because he has advantage in our lane. An advantage meaning he's clearing the way faster. So here I do see the enemies, 3 enemies come into our jungle. I did see the Nakaroth. Why did I not go and contest him? Because I'm not going to feed over a kill to the enemy. So what I did do is I started pinging to my team, if you saw, to tell them and try to alert them that, hey, there's 3 people in our jungle, somebody come help me. Unfortunately, they rotated slow, and Nakaroth did get some of our jungle, but he didn't get our blue buff. If they would have tried our blue buff, I probably would have tried to jump in to secure the blue buff and then run away. But anyways, in that case, all I could do is just provide vision for my team and hope they rotate. They didn't. Okay, so last clip, I couldn't do anything. This clip, the enemy invades again. If you notice, it's very similar timing. So this time, I actually am able to do something, and they actually go for the blue buff first. So I jump in, I get the stun on them, I Xeniel shield, and then punish. So I do secure the blue buff and save it for my team. And finally, the Kali comes over. So anyways, like I was saying, it's the exact same thing. You saw the bush I'm watching from. That bush, understand that you can see the buff from that bush, and it's very close to your tower, it's very close to your lane, so it's a very safe way to keep an eye on your team's jungle and just defend it. Here's one more post-dragon clip. So if you notice, 2 minutes 30 seconds, my team just lost the dragon. So anyways, this is going to show you another thing to do during that time. If you notice, I routed by the buff to check for invades. I don't know where the enemy jungler is at this point. Okay, I'm going to clear waves. I am going to go and clean up the small camp, and then also check if red buff is really up. I catch Arthur doing it. Bam, get the punish, get it. I notice red's up. Unfortunately, miss my ult. Important thing, notice you see the enemy jungler. The butterfly is bottom now. So I know butterfly's bottom. So what am I going to do? They're getting kills. Like we discussed, I want to get value other places. So I'm going to clear lane, and my objective is to get the red buff, right? So I need to set that up. So I'm going to push this wave. I'm going to go and catch the second wave. If you notice, the second wave is just passing the second tower. If you don't know how to tell that, you look at the minimap. Your minions mirror the enemy minions. So I saw my minions passing the second tower, so I knew the enemy minions were doing the same. So anyways, I cut the wave. Arthur gets greedy, tries to kill me, or just try to contest me, so I get the kill. I still decide to start red buff. I'm fully aware the enemies know I'm doing red buff, but with Arthur dead, I have 0 worries. Worst case is Butterfly and Kali come, and there's no way that they're stopping me from getting away. Kali does a really smart thing. That was a great mid play, is she came in and she actually secured the red and stole it from me with her AoE in the bush. If it was other mages, I probably would have got away with it. Anyways, I cut the next wave, and then I go and I take the small camp, right? Just no shame. I live in their jungle. As a DS laner, I cannot emphasize enough, you must create pressure, and the way that you create pressure is just stealing. Like, cut waves, steal the jungle, just sit in bushes like you've seen me been doing in these clips and just get value. So here we go, I get the small camp, I'm on Arthur again. Again, he's going to be worried about dying. Unfortunately, I run out of the mana I need to grab Arthur with my ult, so he does get away and doesn't get another kill. After this, I get the wave, I get Sentinel. So you can see that the main core function of a DS laner is to create pressure. I often hear people talk about, you know, the DS laner is just forgotten and left alone. And in a lot of cases, that is true. But when a DS laner is forgotten and left alone, that means that they're doing a bad job. It means that they are not creating the pressure necessary for the enemy team to respond to them. Okay, so I was telling everybody, always try Spirit Sentinel, right? So I just these next clips are just to show you that I have no shame in starting and stopping Spirit Sentinels, and I think it's a really good habit because it lets you show what you can do and can't do. So there, right, this one I don't feel comfortable because Kali's there and Arthur's there. If you notice, if it was only Kali, I probably still would have tried it, but Arthur came in, so I gave up on it. Once again, disengage. So here we are in another game. I'm going to get vision, clear the wave, mine's missing. Okay, cool, I'll try Spirit Sentinel, right? Another thing is, recognize my laner was just mid. So now when I try the Sentinel, he has to either stop me or go and clear his wave. He does go and clear his wave, so I keep doing it, but then also the jungler was missing, so I decided to give up on it too, right? If your Spidey sense goes off, just give up on it, okay? But try. Okay, so you guessed it. Finally, we are going to get that Spirit Sentinel. So anyways, I showed you a bunch of clips of me failing to do the Sentinel because I think it's a really important habit, and I feel like people tend to feel afraid to start the big objectives like Sentinels and Dragons, and they tend to get really stuck to them when they should just run away and disengage. So anyways, I wanted to show you that disengaging is totally fine. Anyways, something I want to point out, the enemy is right there, right? And I've told you, in all the clips, the enemy's been there. Why did I go in that clip? That clip, I realized I was looking at the minimap. I'm always having map awareness, and I just saw that my team was going to come help me, and we were going to have, I wouldn't say advantageous, but not disadvantageous fight. So anyways, I stick with it, I get the Sentinel, and then we even get the kill on the enemy jungler who tries to come in. So as I'm saying, if your Spidey sense goes off, give up on it, but if you think you can do it, then do it. And for those of you who don't know, be aggressive, try to do it. You need to learn when you can take it. That's what really will make you an amazing DS laner, is figuring out when you can get those things even though there's an enemy standing right there. Okay, the next topic is a personal pet peeve of mine, and that is people who get stuck in this, I am DS laner, I should only be in the DS lane, I should never go mid, I should never go dragon lane. So in this clip, notice I come mid after spawn. Why? Because the mid laner was bottom. Our mid laner Xanis, don't ask me why. Top, there was a big fight brewing, so I go to clear mid lane. Xanis is now standing in the bush. I can tell he wants to gank, so I'm just kind of clearing it like I would, seeing if Vera comes in. She's not going to, no big deal. So finish clearing the lane, and then me and Xanis rotate for a gank together, right? So once again, I'm trying to iterate here, is that there is no my lane, okay? Go where you are needed. Go where there is pressure built and relieve the pressure. Okay, so anyways, we come down here. We saw the Richter on the way, and now he's kind of missing, and we're like, what happened? Oh, okay, there he is, right? So that's why I was checking the bushes, is because I was looking for that Richter. So anyways, we get the gank on Richter. I'm back in my lane, right? No my lane, people, okay? The team lane. Okay, so final clip of the video. If you notice, once again, somebody's bottom, a bunch of people are top, and there's nobody mid, right? So where do I go? I come mid. And notice, if I wouldn't have come mid, if I would have been stubborn and I would have went to one of those other lanes, then we would have just missed, what, five minions? And really, we wouldn't have missed them because we would have just lost our tower. Then I see the two people who went mid roam top. So guess what? I'm going to rotate behind them to come help my team. Now I know we're in a okay fight, right? So there's two bottom. and there was one enemy that I saw for sure bottom, and then so it's most likely 4 enemies, so that's why we disengage, we get out, we still get the Sentinel because the enemy's also posturing, and yeah, I mean, it ends up very good for us, right? We don't lose the mid tower, we end up getting the Sentinel, and nobody dies, and now our bottom laner and our dragon laner, which has the most damage, are there to take the dragon. So anyways, just to sink in the point, there is no my lane. Go where you are needed. Go where the pressure is and relieve it.